Good morning, everyone. As you come in, we will start promptly at 11. As you're coming in, go ahead and start your chat. Tell us who you are, your degree, when you graduated. A lot of people like to know what's happening on campus right now. So campus is very busy. All of our students looked sharp and impressive on Monday for the career fair. They were all walking around, we had, I think, some of our top numbers for attendance at that career fair from our students, and some top numbers of recruiters here and employers here to recruit them. So it was nice to see all the alumni that came back. And today it is beautiful outside. It actually feels like Rapid City has started its fall almost. We have a high of 72. It's 69 right now. It's sunny and gorgeous, not windy. So it's like the perfect time to be back in Rapid City. And I know that yesterday got a little warm, but Monday was also just a gorgeous day too. And we had over 150 alumni back to recruit. And so they appreciated that good weather out here too. Made them miss campus even more. So I was just scrolling through to see everyone that's here. Looks like we've got a good mix of everyone, from mining to electrical to chemical engineers. We even have someone who posted, "Hello, Mr. Rankin, Doug Schultz." Chemistry, is it chemistry or chem E from 78? So
Chem E.
Okay. So yes, as you guys are coming on, we're just waiting for a few more minutes until we hit the 11 o'clock time to start. But yeah, as you come on, please open up your chat. Make sure that you change it so that it's so that everyone can see it for all participants, and tell us who you are, that you're here, and your degree and the year you graduated. More hellos coming to you. Our sports season is up and going. I know our soccer team is playing 2 games this weekend. We're actually going to post here in a little bit on our social media ways that you guys can watch our athletics wherever you are. You can go through and I'll post in here too, our link to see any of our athletic games. Let me put that in right now in our chat. So that's rmacnetwork.com for SD Minds. That's how you can watch any of our games. So whether you want to watch a football game, a basketball game when that season comes out, and our soccer games, our volleyball games, they're all hosted there. You can watch them with friends, watch them alone, put them on while you're working in the middle of the day off to the side when we have our day games. But we love to see that support. All right, so we are at the 11 o'clock time. I know more people will be joining us as we get started, but I want to thank everyone for joining us today at our Lunch and Learn for the State of the University, presented by Dr. Jim Rankin. Today's recording is going to be recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel later today. I encourage all of you to use the chat function, say hi, tell everyone who you are, that you're here, your major, and your graduation year. To use the chat function, make sure you click that word bubble at the bottom, switch it so that everyone can see it, so the responses go to all attendees. And if you have a question today for Dr. Rankin, please use the Q&A option. At the end of his talk, we will open up and he will answer some of those questions that you have for him. So I would like to present Dr. Jim Rankin. He is a fellow alumni, president of the university, and a graduate from 1978 electrical engineering. So I turn it over to you, Dr. Rankin.
Thank you, Shelley. Very good. Yeah, Shelley's going to run the PowerPoint for me today. So great to see so many people signing on. So as this screen share comes up a little bit. So, okay, very good. Well, let's go ahead and go to the first slide or the next slide. So just a little bit about campus leadership team. We've got a few alumni that are in positions here on campus. And so it gives you a chance to see names and faces of who's here. Kelsey is our HR person, but Kelsey has moved to Chicago or to Illinois area with her husband. They've moved to a new position and she's still working part-time for us. So that's a kind of a gap in our team at the moment. Next slide, please. There's a list of all of our undergraduate and graduate degrees that we have on campus right now. So hopefully, as you're looking at that list, you're finding your degree on there. Now, we've changed the name of some of them, so hopefully it's not too different as you take a look. On the right side, you'll see that there's a word new there. We just had approved in May, I believe it was, by the Board of Regents, a brand new PhD in data science engineering. So excited to kick that one off and add to our list of graduate programs that you can attend. So we don't have, I didn't list on here how many of them are actually distance learning or online capable, but several of our management, I think we've got 3 of our graduate degrees are online right now, but we've got a lot of options and we think we've got a good selection for students to pick from. So why they might come to South Dakota Mines. A little bit about our freshman enrollment. You can see that back in fall of 2014, we just had a huge bump. And as they worked through and then they graduated out, our total enrollment went down a little bit. But we're really happy to see the number of students that we've got that are coming in this fall. There's an asterisk next to the 540 because they have not released the official census data. The Board of Regents will do that on Tuesday, I think it is, of next week. On September 20th, the official data will come out. But it's great to see that freshman enrollment going up over these last 2 years. So that's a good sign, and we're hoping to see that continue. And you can see that that little hump in there shows what happens with that big bump in 2014, that for about the next 4 or 5 years, we were pretty high. And then as they graduated out, our numbers went down a little bit. But now again, we're at 2168 as our guess on where we'll be this year for undergraduate enrollment. So good to see that popping back up. Next slide. This is kind of an interesting slide. We were curious on just how did our enrollment look compared to everybody else? Because if you just looked at the last 4 or 5 years, you might say, wow, your enrollment's going down, what's going on? Well, the kind of a bluish blackish, at least on my screen, that big hump right in the middle, that's South Dakota Mines. So you can see we had a huge enrollment compared to other universities. We've tailed off a little bit, but we're still above what we were, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And so hopefully we'll turn that around. We don't have the new 2022 data on there yet, but you'll see that going up. The other positive one there that passes us right at the end is Dakota State. With their cybersecurity, and they picked up a lot of students. A lot of their students are distance learning, so they're not actually on the Madison campus, but they do have a good-sized enrollment number. FTE, the full-time equivalent in the title, if you're curious about what that is. So I've normalized it, but take a look at the other 4 campuses in our system, and even the total for it. They've all had a lot of declines over the last 15 years or so. So we've had a pretty good track record, and we're looking to see that enrollment grow back up again as we move forward. Our enrollment management team and the provost's office have been doing a great job out recruiting and marketing to try to get more students to come to Mines. You'll see the graduate enrollment. We're flat. I think we're pretty flat again this year. The biggest increase we've had is in our accelerated masters. So if you are here for a undergraduate degree and you decide you'd like to get a master's, you can apply for that accelerated program. And when you do that, you can take classes in your senior year that count towards your graduate program, and then you take 1 more year. So in about 5 years, you're leaving campus with a master's degree. So it's a pretty good deal, and we're seeing more and more students take advantage of that accelerated master's program. Here you can see our graduate degrees that have been issued. I think one of them that I watch a lot is that red line at the bottom. If you look at the Carnegie classification as where we're ranked or how they classify us, we've always been classified as a special focus school. And there's only 6 campuses in that. The other 5 are privates. We're the only public in that category. We'd literally like to get to become a Research 2 university, which would be like USD and South Dakota State in our state. You have to have $5 million of funded research in a year to do that. And we're above that. I think we had $18 million in expenditures last year, but you have to have 21 PhD graduates a year. And so last year we finally passed that level at 21. And so now we just have to sustain that to move into that Research 2 category. This last year, Carnegie reclassified us as a master's university, and we'd like to get past that. And R2 is a doctoral research university, and so that's what we're looking to get into that classification. So that 21 is a good sign for us. Shelley talked about the athletics. Hopefully you'll join in and watch the games. The football team I know is down at Colorado Mesa this night or on Saturday, and you can watch that. I go to the website gorockers.com, which is our athletic department's website, and if you pick whatever sport you're looking at, you can actually find the logo that will take you to the video so you can watch it. But all of our basketball and volleyball and football, I think soccer, are all broadcast live. That's a requirement in the RMAC. But you can see when we call our students scholar athletes, that is really true. I mean, a 3.0 GPA for all of them, accumulative, just fantastic. And then look at all the RMAC athletic honorees and all RMAC academic honorees, and just and then the number of volunteer hours they put in. So when the students come to Mines, they're here to get a degree while they're playing athletics, and it's just fantastic. And you can see there at the bottom, those students are getting jobs, and some of them are going on to graduate degrees. And we didn't put that data in this particular slide, but our scholar athletes continue to do a great job. Yeah, as Shelley was talking, we just had our career fair on Tuesday. We had 219 companies show up. That's the largest we've ever had. I think last year we had about 163, 165 showed up. So we had not only the Goodell gym was filled with companies, but the Fraser gym in the back was filled with companies. And I think Matt Hanley over at Career Services sent out an email yesterday. I think we had 2,000 students. I mean, our student population, I think, is about 2,500. And so to have 2,000 students go through the career fair looking for internships and full-time positions is just fantastic. But yeah, 219 companies showed up in person to recruit on Tuesday. 97% placement rate. And I always like to make sure and point out, these are jobs in your discipline. If you go to Target or Walmart or McDonald's to work, that doesn't count. We don't consider that as a check mark when we do our survey. So it's 97% placement rate or going to graduate school. And if you've done an internship, 100% placement rate. And actually, the difference in starting salary for a student that does a internship versus one who does not do an internship is about $11,000 to $12,000. So there's a big difference in whether you do that or not. Starting salaries, and we're seeing more and more students that are actually staying in South Dakota, which is good. Obviously, our legislature looks at that as well. And there you can see some of our top employers of recent graduates. And interns. We have the internship, look at average salary of just about $21 an hour. Students went to all of those states, 41 states, plus some went to Canada and France and Germany. I'm always impressed by when they get the internships outside of the US as well. That's always interesting. But you can see that they're going all over. And 70% of our students as they graduate have done at least one internship opportunity. So that continues to be a strong point. And This year, we encourage freshmen to go to the career fair as a freshman, because you never know when you might land an internship. And even if you don't, you get that experience of what it's like to talk to companies and what they're looking for. Next slide, please. A lot of times when we look at the university budget, people are curious on where our money comes from. That lower left corner shows our state appropriations. It says includes HEF. HEF is the higher education facility fee. So for every dollar in tuition a student pays, the state grabs, I think it's 11.5%, and puts that in a special bucket that gets used for facilities. And then we apply to get some money for that. So that's like our library. We use some of our HEF funds that we got to renovate the library. Tuition fees is about a fourth of our income. And then you can see federal grants over on the right side. HERF would have been the money from the COVID, higher education, I forget, emergency something fund. I forgot the whole acronym itself, but you can see that federal grants and some of the COVID money that came in. But that gives you a little bit of a idea of what happens. Auxiliaries, that's dining services, dorms, athletic, like the stadium. Sometimes when we run out the stadium, some of those things come in as auxiliary support. Next slide. And then here's where you can see where our money goes out. So a third of our money that comes in goes out as instruction costs. 7% there is academic support, student services 9%, institutional support 11%, research 18%. So you can kind of get an idea of where that money goes as it comes in. One of the places that we're excited, this is, if you've been on campus recently, up behind the old gym or the music building, depending on how you refer to it, is where the business incubator had been. Elevate Rapid City had been in there. That most recently was called Ascent Innovation. We went to the legislature this last year. They gave us $5.25 million to buy that building. And so we're right in the final stages of working with Elevate Rapid City to purchase it from them. I'm hoping that we will get that done yet this week or next. Our research office will move up there. This will all be dedicated to research. And so that's where we'll go in there. We do have some tenants that are in there from Elevate that will stay there for a little while as we transition. We do need to do some renovations because a lot of the labs are not set up to be wet labs. So there will be some renovations going in, and then we will rename the building so that it's not confusing to the Elevate Rapid Cities buildings and the things they're doing. So excited to get that. It's about a 40,000 square foot building that we will take over here shortly. And then this one, the Nucor Mineral Industries building, where we've finally settled on a groundbreaking date. We've got our bids in for construction. So on September 30th at 3 o'clock, feel free to come by campus. We'll start in Surbeck in the ballroom, and then we'll switch over to do the groundbreaking for the facility. We originally thought the building would cost about $34 million, but boy, with the cost of supplies and everything like that going on in the construction world right now, that cost has gone up. Out of that $34 million, 2 years ago, we went to the state and they gave us $19 million to build it. So usually the state has not put a lot of money into new buildings on campuses, but we were very fortunate to get 19. We were going to throw 3 in from the university. The foundation, Alumni Association, now called CARA, has agreed to fundraise $12 million, and they've raised 9.5 already. So we've got a little work yet to do to complete that fundraising step, and we're really working hard. CARA's been doing a great job. Like I say, inflation has increased those bids, and so now we're up to about $38.8 million. So we're going to have to the university is working on bonding to cover the rest of that piece going forward. But it's going to be exciting to see the groundbreaking and get ready to build that brand new building for the mineral industries and replace the old MI, which really just needs to go away as soon as we can. And then right at the beginning of school, we renovated and opened up Devereaux Library. And it's just really great to see it up in the upper right corner. You know, we got rid of a lot of bricks and we put windows in. Who would have thought there was windows in the library, if you remember. Down on the main floor, as you walk in on that upper left-hand corner, you can see Einstein Bagels. We moved that out of the dorms and put that over. So you got a coffee shop now right there in the library. Lower left corner looks like our maker space. So that's going to be filled up with 3D printers and other equipment for students to come in and make their own design projects. And then the books that we did keep and the university archives have moved up to the top floor, and that's what you're seeing in the lower right corner. So if you go over there, you're going to see a lot of students. It's been just populated, and the students can get in there and study. So it really is just fantastic. There really is a lot of excitement about the Devereaux Library. Working with our regents over the last year, we've created what's called, actually all 6 campuses in South Dakota have created what's called an opportunity for all area. And the idea is, let's not help just 1 or 2 specific areas of students to be successful at Mines. Let's help everybody. So if somebody needs some help, then this is what the opportunity for all is meant to do. And so you can see it broke down into 2 areas. Both areas report to our provost, Lance Roberts. On the left is Student Success Center, and that's all in the library now. Tutoring, testing, advising, ADA services, the career services office is there. So Title IX, that's all moved into the library now. How can we help you with academics? How can we help you be successful at Mines? And on the right side, the student development is more about student life. So on the Ivanhoe International Center, to help with our international students, the Veterans Resource Center, student engagement, the Office for Inclusion, counseling, residence life, all fits under there. So how do we help students be successful and graduate from Mines? And I know some people say, well, don't be lowering the standard of getting out. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to help with our tutoring and our mentoring so that students can be successful going through. So if you hear opportunity for all or opportunity centers, that's what's going on in that particular area. 2 years ago, the state legislature changed the law so that we could actually have an armed police force on campus. So we have 2 police officers on our campus right now to provide a full-time coverage. And then we've got, I think there's about 24 employees who are not armed security safety officers, mostly students who go around to make sure, doors are locked and checking on problems that we might have on campus. And then we've also got an agreement with the Rapid City Police Department, and they're not very far away, maybe like 6 or 7 blocks just on the other side of East Boulevard. So if we would need them, they could be here in a hurry. So that really is a good deal for us. I think it adds to the safety on our campus. And we did use this last year. I think it was last October when we had the bomb scare and had to evacuate campus. And Rapid City Police Department and Pennington County Sheriff's Office and the fire department, everybody was right there to help to make sure that students were safe. And so I think this is just another piece of making sure we have a safe campus. I did talk about research expenditures a little bit, having to have more than $5 million to be a doctoral research university. Last year, we had $20 million in awards and $18.5 million in expenditures. The goal this year is $20 million in expenditures. I think talking to our VP for research, Dr. Davis, I think he said that we've already had 10 or $12 million in awards after the first 2 months of this fiscal year. So the research, the faculty, staff, students doing research, funded research is just really moving forward. They're doing a great job. So it's exciting to see that on our campus. And you can kind of see that we get research funding from all over the place. So National Science Foundation is our biggest funder, but Department of Defense is right in there. IND there you see below NASA would be industry funded, but Department of Interior. So you can see there's quite a bit of quite a diversity of funding coming into the university. One of the topics that I like to talk about is the, what are we doing in terms of research? Why is, research important to what we're doing? Well, research leads to innovation, which leads to patents, which leads to licenses with startup companies and other established companies, which creates jobs. And the more of those startup companies and those companies that we could locate in South Dakota means there's more jobs for our graduates to stay in South Dakota if they want to. So there really is an end result that's a benefit not only for the state and region, but it can help keep some of our graduates here in South Dakota. And so that's why it really is the beginning of a pipeline along that. And you can see from the patents filed and the patents issued last year, it's really been a good year in terms of research. And I said it's a university record, potentially a state record. I think that's more patents filed and issued for us than the other 5 campuses combined. And so it really, our folks are just doing a fantastic job. It's great to see that. And we continue to do a lot on entrepreneurship. Our students are just fantastic. Joseph Wright, who runs our economic development area, he's our AVP for economic development. He's got a team of about 40 entrepreneurs and residents across the nation that come in and mentor our students that are talking about being entrepreneurs and moving it forward. So it's just, you can see in that first bullet, we're winning more money than most of the people. I like the last bullet. You might look at that last bullet and say, gee, you won it for 6 years and now all of a sudden you didn't win it last year. Well, our number 1 student team, who probably would have won it, decided not to enter into the student competition, but they entered into the open competition and won it instead. So I'm not sure that record is really broken. I think it just shows how fantastic. All the other universities are pretty jealous of the entrepreneurship program that we've got going on. Upcoming events, homecoming is next week. And so our football game is next Saturday. We are actually having our Hard Rocker Heritage Gala next Friday night, which is a new recognition. So we will recognize outstanding recent graduates, 5 distinguished alumni, and the March medalist will all be recognized next Friday night at Surbeck. And so that's an open invite. So hopefully if you're available and in town, we'd encourage you to come. Football is October 1st against Black Hills State. And the day before is the groundbreaking for the Mineral Industries building. So maybe you could make it a twofer, come in for the Friday groundbreaking and stay for the football game. So hopefully we'll see you then. President's Scholarship Dinner on the 14th, Family Weekend 14-15, and fall commencement will be on December 17th at 9 o'clock. So a lot of activities already lining up. So, an exciting fall, and we're glad to see so many students here. Jump over a little bit to the Foundation Alumni Association under this new name, the Center for Alumni Relations and Advancement, CARA. Look at that. They raised $20 million last year. And the year before that, it was 9.7. Just a fantastic year last year. We've got a big increase in the number of estate gifts that came in or that have been logged. Then you can see that we had a donation. We've named the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering after Karen Swindler. This is the first chemical engineering department in the nation to be named for a woman. So really an exciting achievement right there. And then Nucor donated $5 million to have the new Mineral Industries building donated or named for them. So a great partnership. Nucor was on campus, I think, 2 weeks ago and essentially take over the whole campus. They have people in the quad with a tent. They provided food to all the students who were there. It's just a lot of activities. They're visiting classrooms, and they really bring a whole team in and do a fantastic job of working with campus. So in addition to the Mineral Industries building, the other thing that the CARA is looking at is this expanding Surbeck. We don't really have enough room for all the dining for our student body right now. We're behind there, so we need more room for that. And then on the top floor, we can see that big glassed in area facing us. we're going to move admissions over into that area. O'Hara is where admissions is at now, and that's not necessarily the best place to recruit a new prospective student. So we're going to move admissions into that area. And then on that picture on the right, on the right-hand side of that picture, you can see kind of a protruding piece with windows. That'll be like a small conference area that you can either do classroom or seminars or banquet. So we'll be expanding into that. So you can see the $6 million is the cost there. It's actually with the construction cost that's probably gone up a little bit from that number, but we're starting to see that money come in, and so excited to see Surbeck get expanded. Other things that we're doing in our fundraising, we've got a $50 million goal for scholarships, athletic and academic, as well as endowed and non-endowed. We've got a goal of $22 million in terms of program support, whether it's departmental or things like camp. And then there's a $10 million goal for an operating fund for CARA. And then just kind of as a data point, at the end of fiscal year 21, our endowment over in CARA was sitting at about $87 million. So we're continuing to see that number grow. And then next Friday, we will do the ribbon cutting on the new M Hill. So they've pulled out all the concrete. We've taken a lot of plaques out. They've been cleaned up. There's a couple, they showed me 3 plaques, a picture of 3 plaques that have been cleaned up that are just fantastic, that you can read them now. And these are really some of the very first ones that were put up there. But the picnic is at Founders Park at noon. And then we'll do the ribbon cutting at 12:30 next Friday. Scott Kenner has done a fantastic job of leading this effort, and it's excited to see that. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. And I think my earpiece may die, so I may switch over just to my iPad here shortly. But please let me know what questions there are.
Thank you, Dr. Rankin. Currently, I don't have any questions in there, so please feel free to go into that chat Q&A section and add a question. While we wait for a few to show up, I think I would like to introduce myself. I am Shelley Granaga, your new Director of Alumni Relations, and Dr. Rankin shared some of our upcoming events. I do want to encourage you guys to visit our either our Facebook page or our CARE website to see all of our events. For the Hard Rocker Days, we do this year have some professional development hours happening on campus for ethics and ESG and reputation management. It is still not too late to register for that. It's about $250 for to be a part of that education, and what a great way to have your work pay for you to come back for Hard Rocker Days. We start that on September 23rd at 7 a.m. and it goes till 12:30, and then you come on over to the M Hill and join us for lunch. Lunch is free. This year we'd like you to register just so that we know that you're coming. And also, Dr. Rankin mentioned the gala. The gala is also free. We just need you to register so that we have enough spots for you. But we would love for you all to join us there. Okay, we do have a few questions. Here's one I think that people often say, where can I park when I visit campus?
Shelley, are you answering that one?
I sure can. So on campus, we do have visitor parking. You're welcome to park just about anywhere. If you do park and it's a busy day, especially like with the career fair, on career fair days, we don't ticket during those days. So you can park anywhere you can find a spot. If you do need a temporary parking pass, if that makes you feel more comfortable, at CARA, at our upper level, Nancy would love to get you one. At Surbeck, you just go to the information desk and they'll give you a temporary parking pass. Art Hunt asks,
I was going to say, and there are some visitor parking spots around. So, but yes, if you're visiting somebody in specific, just let them know you're coming and they can help make arrangements.
Absolutely. Art Hunt asks, an early slide indicated the mechanical engineering department offers a BS and an MS degree. Is there no longer a PhD program in the mechanical engineering?
No, we do have a PhD program, and so I'll have to go back and take a look at that slide to make sure that there's something not missing there.
Thank you. Jake Bartels, if I said that right, Jake, I hope I did, asks, what's the statue of O'Hara Stadium renovation? Oh, status. Sorry, what is the status of the O'Hara Stadium renovation?
Yeah, we had applied to the city for vision funds to be the major part of that renovation, and the vision fund committee put us on the funding list, but then when it got to city council, they took it off, and so we did not get the funds for that. So we are looking at it in phases and trying to figure out how we can put some things together. And so we haven't taken it off the board yet, but we're trying to go back and figure out how we put things in phases and what it's going to take for each phase. So it has not gone away. It's just slowed down since the Vision Fund didn't fund this particular time.
Excellent. Jerry Jarding asks, he says, you noted the current enrollment is about 2,500 total students. Is this an ideal number for our current campus size, or are you looking to still grow? And if so, to what number?
Yeah, our strategic plan, we'd like to see about 3,100 students total, because we surveyed all the departments and asked them what would be your optimum size. And when you put those numbers all together, it ends up being about 3,100 that we can handle in our labs and our classrooms without having to have some kind of a major expansion.
Excellent. A question that came into our chat is, what are the plans for expansion in the next 5 to 10 years? Kind of piggyback on that question.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. We went through, I think 2018, 2019, we did our master plan. And so we've taken a look at, where we can go. So our priorities are for mineral industries, and then Surbec, which we talked about in here. Then I think you're going to see, and then the library. So those were the three that we had really out there. Where do we go from there? I think every one of the departments that's in a building would like to see something expanded. I've heard from industrial, and I've heard from electrical, computer science, computer engineering, mechanical, civil. So I think everybody would like to see an expansion. We've talked about, should there be a different building for camp, which would give mechanical and civil a little more room. So we do have a master plan that I think we can actually see it online. It's on our website. But yeah, so we're looking at that, trying to figure out what our next growth pattern is.
Thank you. I have a question here. What are the demographics of the student body, like minorities, women, enrollment, et cetera?
Yeah, I asked the question on gender. We're still 3-to-1 male to female ratio, so that has not changed too much. Shelly's daughter is now here a freshman, so we've added, she's in that count now, so that's good. Yeah, so that has not changed too much. I don't have the latest. We're trying to put together the fact book. I don't have the latest on underrepresented groups that might be in there. I think our international students, there's probably about 150. I think we had like 30 brand new international students showed up this fall. So as visa issues and things like that get resolved, I think we'll see more international students.
I have a question here about housing. It says they understand that housing is difficult to get students in on campus. Is there a plan for expanded student housing?
Good question. I think Tony's the one that submitted that one, so we'll have to talk to her about that. Yeah, it's 2 months ago our dorms were at 104% registration because in South Dakota, as you remember, freshmen and sophomores have to live in the dorms. And you could only live with like parents within 35 miles. I don't know the exact number. And a lot of students thought, well, we'll get to Rapid City and we'll rent an apartment once we get there. Well, housing in Rapid City is just nuts right now. I think somebody said when a new apartment building is completed, instead of being at 35% occupied, they're like at 95 or 98% right now, because it's just, we've grown enough here and the housing is behind. So it really is tough outside of campus. So we're at about 102% right now in our dorms. We've had to double bunk a couple rooms that had enough room to be a 3. So we put a couple people in a 3. That'll change. I'm not sure that the university will want to build new dorms. And the reason I say that is one of our alums, Andy Shaffey, just built an apartment complex like 4 blocks away right next to Delta Sig. There is another apartment complex going to be finished here shortly that's over by Dakota Bank, or if you're my vintage, it was like Roman's Rendezvous, and the old Imperial 400 Hotel was over there. And we've got talk between Delta Sig and campus. There's been a lot of houses torn down. I'm hearing that that may be sold to somebody to build another apartment complex. So I think they're coming. It's just going to be a while before they're ready to go.
I have a comment here that says, thank you for the wonderful update. They're so glad that they're an alumni. This is from Paul Owen. They're glad that they're one of alumni of one of the best schools. Things look great, like they're going great. So I just want to share that comment with you too. I have a question here that I'm not sure you're going to be able to answer, but is there a list of donors to the M Hill project?
There is, and I probably need to go ask Paul Kruger over at Kara what it is, but I know that Scott Kenner gave me a big list of folks that have put a lot of work into the M Hill project, because we've had a lot of people donate their time, companies donate their time, and companies working together. But I'm guessing Kara has that, and I don't have that, right at my fingertips.
Yep, and we will get that out onto our web page so that you can all see that. Our last question right now is from Damon Powers. Geological Engineering 1986. I hope that's the right one. What's the time frame from the groundbreaking to the first use of the new mineral industry building? Is his part 1. And his part 2 is there anything planned for the space that will open up in the original MI building once the original MI building is raised?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm guessing it's probably 2 years from when they do the groundbreaking to when they actually have the building opened. Wished it could be tomorrow, but it won't be quite ready that soon. The other piece on the old MI building, once we get to tear that down, I'm kind of in favor of putting trees and grass in there and expanding our quad that direction. And going back to the first question, I've had a lot of people say it'd be a great place for a parking lot. So I'm not sure we've decided exactly what will go in there. At some point in the future, depending on how funding goes, I suppose you could see another academic building go in there. Wouldn't be a bad place to put another building.
Excellent, thank you. I just want to remind everyone today, recording is being recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank Dr. Rankin for your time in presenting. I do have a link to some of our upcoming events that I'd like you to be able to use, take a look at. Our Facebook, if you're on Facebook, we always post on there also. Our local areas that have chapters that kind of slowed down over COVID, we're hoping to get you going, up and going. So if you are from a local area and you're interested in getting your chapter going or to start a chapter, please reach out to me. I want to help you with that. I do have a survey link here. I just put into the chat for any up and coming lunch and learns or digital updates that you want to hear about. I want to share real quick some of the upcoming ones we have for you that you can be a part of. I have too many PowerPoints up. I apologize for it to get to you. But when Dr. Rankin mentioned some of our upcoming Rocker Day events, we have the golf classics, we have our open house for both the library will be opened up and camp will be opened up for any of you that are back that want to come see those new parts of campus. They're there for you. Of course, the picnic is at noon. It is free. We do ask you to register again, so we have enough food. We have our you can watch the M Hill. We have the rededication at 12:30 Friday, Dr. Rankin. And then we'll have even the alumni band rehearsal. So if you were ever part of music and want to be a part of the alumni band rehearsal, you're rehearsing to be part of the pep band. And then you get your own shirt and you get to join them at the homecoming game and play for us. So information is coming to you in an email about that for a reminder. And then we have our Hard Rocker Heritage. This is open for all of our alumni. We want you to come back and support those recent alumni winners and also our distinguished alumni winners and the March Medal. We will be posting that also on Facebook afterwards, so you can see who won those and the information that we can share. Oh, there it's shared. I just had an error. And then
I
we
think,
have,
I was just going to say, I think on the Hard Rocker Heritage Gala, if you're not in Rapid City, I think we're looking to see if we can live stream that as a last second, because we've had some folks that can't travel to Rapid right now. And so if that does come true, we will be sure to get that information out as well.
President Rankin, I can confirm that. I was working with Rachel to get that link created. It'll be available soon.
Good.
excellent. So there, I'm sharing those events. It just took a second. I had an error pop up. And then after the game, we have our concert with Flannel that you are welcome to stay and be a part of. They do like band covers from the 90s. So it's a lot of fun there. After the Rocker Days events, we have some October events already coming out. We have our department update, and October 4th is music. Our lunch and learn for that month is, I'm looking for it. The Met Department has been doing some new research, especially inside of their arts program and ceramics program that they'll be talking about. In November, we've got our digital department update is our Veterans Resource Center and some of the support systems that they're doing there and how they've renovating that area. You are welcome to any of our tailgates. We have our own alumni tent that we would right next to the president's tent. So you can stop by and say hi to Dr. Rankin too, that we would love for you to join us at. Local alumni or alumni in the area in December, we welcome our recent graduates or about to be graduates into the alumni association through our welcome reception. And if you ever want to join us for graduation, we'd love to have you out here. And again, just to put a plug in for Dr. Rankin's President's Dinner, this is an event to raise funds for our student scholarship. The cocktail hour starts at 6, dinner starts at 7. It is hosted at the Hotel Alex Johnson and is $500 per person. Please go online to register. Again, you can find that on our CARA website. I want to thank all of your time, and I hope to see you at our future updates and lunch and learns. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Rankin, did you want to say anything on our way out?
No, just thank you, everybody. And if questions, you can always reach out to me at president@sdsmt.edu or jim.rankin@sdsmt.edu.
Perfect. Excellent. And I just want to say to Cass Tomac, congratulations on you're getting married next weekend. So you'll be missing us for M Day, but congratulations and thank you all. You have a great day. Bye.
All right.